I spend my daughter's college fund after she sides with my cheating husband. Okay. Buckle up. Because you are not going to believe what happened to me. I'm still reeling. Honestly. I thought I knew my family. But a series of events have turned my world completely upside down, leaving me questioning everything. It all started with a broken marriage and spiraled into a situation I never imagined possible. Get ready for a wild ride because this is my story of heartbreak, betrayal, and maybe, just maybe, a glimmer of hope. I have an 18-year-old daughter, Mia, who was supposed to start college in a couple of months. I was also in the middle of a brutal divorce from Jonathan, my husband of 20 years. He had been having an affair with his secretary, Alicia, for almost a year before he finally confessed. The confession felt like a knife to the gut. But what came next was even more devastating. I immediately filed for divorce and moved in with a friend, expecting Mia to naturally take my side. I mean, who wouldn't? Right? Wrong. She chose to side with her father. I tried to talk to her a week after I left, desperately hoping she'd at least want to know where I was. But that text never came. It felt like she didn't even care. So, I texted her first, explaining that I left Jonathan because of the affair. It was odd. She was avoiding me. It made me wonder if I had underestimated Jonathan's spin on our relationship. I thought that he had told her the truth. Even in spite of that, she was still my daughter. So I poured all my energy into convincing her to talk to me. Even though I was swamped with the divorce and my job, she would agree to meet me maybe once in a blue moon. And I tried so hard to make those days special. But for the last couple of weeks, she had been completely ignoring my texts. Then, about a week ago, I saw a post she put up on Instagram. That post was the last straw. I was already crumbling from losing my husband. But now it felt like I was losing my daughter too. I completely lost it. I called her up. And when she didn't answer the first time, I went a little crazy. I called her almost 17 more times until she finally picked up the phone. She sounded annoyed. But I couldn't care less about how she felt. I demanded an explanation for the post. And she just told me that it was none of my business and that I shouldn't be stalking her account. It was insane. She has a public account. And I follow her because I'm her biological mother. But she was acting like I was some crazy stranger. Then, she dropped the bomb. Mia told me that she owed me nothing and that if I was so hurt, she was just going to block me so I wouldn't be able to see any more of her posts. She told me that whatever happened was done. And instead of whining, I should just be trying to make my future better and get along with her new family. Then, she hung up and actually blocked me. I was shocked. I always thought that Mia loved us equally, like any other mother and daughter do. But I would never have expected her to stab me in the back like this. It felt like she started growing closer to Jonathan than to me. That phone call proved that she didn't care about me. And it sent me over the edge. I think I cried for almost an hour after she hung up and blocked me because I couldn't believe that my little girl would do this to me. I decided that I wasn't going to let everybody get away with walking all over me. For the rest of my life, Jonathan and I had agreed to split the cost of sending her to college. But I decided to just screw it and spend that money on buying a house I had my eye on. For the past couple of years, I had been dreaming of a beautiful house in a really nice neighborhood. But I hadn't been able to buy it because Jonathan wasn't ready to move out of our old house. And Mia didn't want to leave that neighborhood because all her friends lived nearby. But as soon as I realized that Mia had almost no gratitude, I decided to talk to the real estate agent dealing with that house, and offered them the entire college fund. And even some more. I'm supposed to move into that house by the end of the month. And I was so excited that I decided to take a picture of that house and post it on my social media. I guess some relative of Jonathan sent it to him. And he texted me a few days ago to ask me how I was able to afford that house because the last time we discussed this, it was a little out of my budget. I didn't even care what he would think of me. He flipped out and started yelling at me, calling me an irresponsible mother and telling me that I had no right to do this to our daughter. He accused me of being petty and jealous just because Mia seemed to be getting along well with Alicia. He even insinuated that I was somehow punishing her for not turning her back on her father and siding with me instead. None of that was true. I was just doing this because I finally felt like I earned it. And I no longer needed to keep running after my daughter, because she had other people looking out for her. She preferred these new people over me. So she didn't need me anymore. And if she didn't need me, then I would assume that she didn't need my money either. He couldn't argue with that. So I hung up. But it wasn't over yet because an hour after my phone call with Jonathan, Mia called me. I could barely understand what she was saying because she was crying so hard. It was petty. But I did ask her if she was still putting me first when she blocked me, just because I seemed to be upset that she was calling Alicia her mother. She told me that it meant nothing and it was only a sweet gesture that she thought would make Alicia feel more comfortable now that she was part of the family. Because no matter what the past was, Jonathan still wanted a future with Alicia. She said that she hadn't expected me to turn her back on her, even though I was a victim and I was the one who had been cheated on. She just kept crying and said that she'd never expected her own mother to take revenge on her like this. And I started feeling pretty horrible about what I did, especially when she started hiccuping in the middle of her sobs, because she only did that when she was upset. And I hadn't heard her do that ever since she was a kid. So I knew that she was really upset now. And I guess I may have taken things a little too far. She told me that she was very sorry about whatever she did. I ended the call, but I haven't been able to forget about it. And I really don't know if what I did was out of line or not. Am I the a-hole for spending my daughter's college fund on a new house? Update. Hey guys. So I moved into my new house recently. And it's been a few days since I've been living here. I brought back all the things that I paid for my old house. I saw Jonathan, Alicia, and Mia there when I came to take my belongings. They're all living together now because it seems like Jonathan found a replacement for me as soon as I was gone. Actually, he already had a replacement lined up even before I was gone. Jonathan and Alicia ignored me the entire time that I was there, because it just made it easier for me to instruct the movers and help me get my job done a lot faster than I would have been able to had they decided to talk to me. Mia tried to talk to her because I had nothing left for me to say to her, especially not after whatever had happened in the past. But she stopped me just as I was about to get into my car. I was going to contribute to her college fund now. There was no apology and no sign of regret. I thought about it a lot over the past few days, and I really can't come up with any excuse for my daughter's behavior. We had grown a little distant in the last couple of years, and I thought that it was normal because she was a teenager and I was her mother. So she couldn't get along with me even if she wanted to. But she'd been on good terms with her father through, which made me feel a little alienated, but I never held that against her. This was different. This was something where I actually needed her to stand up for me. But she didn't do that. And I guess I was really disappointed. It was bad enough that she didn't stand up for me, knowing that her mother had been cheated on. But the way she treated me after that is what hurt. I don't think anybody would be able to tolerate the degree of disrespect, regardless of who it came from. And it's not as if my there's a child, she's an adult, she knew what she was doing. Update 2. I can't forgive my daughter. And the money is already. So I don't understand the point of bothering me every other. But Mia has decided that she's going to keep texting me every other day to ask if I change my mind. I've been ignoring her for the past couple of days, but it's been almost a week, and she still keeps doing it. So today, I decided to finally text her. I told her that the money was already gone now, so there was not much that I could do to bring it back. So it was kind of unfair for her to treat me badly. And then, do you expect me to pay for her college fund? Contribution to her fund, and that would be a lot more reason. And there was no need for me to get so triggered over. It felt like a slap in the face because not only was Jonathan choosing this woman over me, but it felt like my own daughter was also taking their side. The only two explanations that I could come up with that. Either she just didn't even think that they'd screwed up stop, which would be a terrible reflection of her more. Either way, she wasn't on my side. And she didn't have my back. Go back, which was a pretty huge heartbreak emotional. Next was that I needed to get over. I was so exasperated with her that I muted all notifications from her and I couldn't block her because she's still my daughter. But if she decides, I just might do. Update 3. It's been 2 weeks since I last spoke to my daughter. And today, Jonathan and Mia decided to ambush me at my office. I was just about to leave the office prem. Jonathan's car parked across. What's the street in both? Both of them were leaning against it and waiting for me to come out. I decided that I was going to ignore them and just walk past them. But they made their way towards me and told me that I needed to talk to them and explain my actions to them. I couldn't fathom what they were still confused about. Sulking, and told me that if not Jonathan. Explanation. So I decided that I was just going to get this done with. I decided to start talking without even giving them a chance to interrupt me. Because I wasn't interested in their side of the story yet. Play in spite of being together for almost 20 years. We're still getting a divorce. First because he cheated on me. Mia decided that she was going to suck up to her father's affair partner and do everything in her power to make me feel bad about myself. As if I wasn't feeling bad enough because of the divorce and all the cheating already. I told her to her face. I really can't think of her as the daughter that I raised because if she really was my daughter. And I didn't want to associate with any of them anymore. They were all immoral and unethical and just disgusting people in general. In particular, that I was still entertaining her because she was my daughter. If I had been a stronger and more ruthless woman in my place, then she probably would have cut her off after that post. She was lucky that she even got a chance to talk to me at all, because not many people would give her that chance. After I was done talking, she was about to start crying, so I hurriedly grabbed my burrito. Spell paid for it. And I didn't want to appear. Neither of them has contacted me since then, and I hardly think that they will. Even if they do, I think I've made it pretty clear why that's gone. I still have to meet Jonathan in a couple of days for the negoti. But I don't know what is going to happen to my relationship. Check with me after. I don't know what exactly made her cry, but I know that the things that I said today. Update 4. It's been a month since I last met my daughter. And I almost thought I would never see her again. It was sad. But I made my peace with. There wasn't much that I could do at that point either. Jonathan stopped fighting me at the negotiations as well. Meeting at the restaurant got to him as well. I realized that once he told me about Alicia. I didn't even scream at. I just left quietly and never looked back again. Disappointed and angry I was until that day of the. As for, we didn't speak for a month after that. And like I said, I almost thought that I would never see her again. She's supposed to start college in a couple of weeks, and I kept going through old photo albums of us when she was little, because I felt like I'd be there to see her off. When she went away to college, I kept thinking about how now, but I couldn't do anything about. 3 days back, when I received an email from Mia, and it was a pretty emotional one. She apologized to me for behaving the way that. Wish she treated Alicia better and also let her get an apartment in her second year with. And she couldn't think of a way to do this without hurting me. Close relationship with Alicia and she didn't want. So she just started pushing me away and hoped that she'd be able to reconnect with me. Once she got the car, she said that she now understood that none of it was worth losing her friendship with me, and she regretted every single thing that she did. She told me that she'd really love it if I would be there to see her off when she started college, and told me the dates and everything. I haven't yet made up my mind on whether I want to go or not because of the end of the day. Whether friends, I can understand the appeal of that because Baito was once or. But I would never hurt my loved ones. Search for something as insignificant. And she did hurt me. It was intentional and it was for a really petty. So I don't know if I can forgive her so quickly. But at least she apologized. I haven't responded to her email yet because I'm still struggling with what to do about. I really don't think that a car or an apartment is valid enough. But I do miss her terribly, and I really wish that we could go back to being the way that we were. Or at least try to. Update 5. Hi. Thank you so much for. Thanks for following my story and for all the comments and messages that I've received, and still continue to. It really means the world to me that so many people resonate with me. Hang in there. Things do get better. Mia and I have finally begun to work on a relationship. She's supposed to leave for college in a couple of days, and I finally responded to that email yesterday. Like I failed as a mother, and it would take me a while to come around. Having said, I couldn't possibly stay away or keep her away from me anymore. Because she was my only child. People might think of me as weak or a pushover. But I think that there's been enough punishment. And I can't go on like this. With so much hate in my heart. I fix things. Not out of a sense of duty or obligation. I don't think that I would forgive her if I wasn't her mother. But I am, and I. Just this once. I can look past whatever she did. As long as she promises that she will never do something like this. Afterward, and had a real conversation about everything. It was a pretty good emotional. She promised me that she would never repeat her behavior ever again. And that there was nothing in the world that she would want more than to fix her relationship with me. So we think we're going to try out online therapy. And I don't think we can work through these things without professional help. She also told me that she's asked your father to stay back home because she wants me to drive her up. talk to our campus and help her settle in. It'll also give her some time to talk to me before she leaves. Jonathan and Alicia were pretty disappointed that she didn't want them tagging along, but she was very firm about who she wanted to drop her off. And I'm glad that she chose. I wouldn't say that everything is all fine again, but with enough time and effort, I guess we can repair our relationship. And I hope that we do. So, after hearing all of this, I'm left wondering if I completely messed up. Did I overreact by taking away the college fund? Was I justified in feeling betrayed by my daughter? I'm truly torn and would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think I was wrong in how I handled the situation with Mia? Or were my actions understandable given the circumstances of my husband's affair and her siding with him? Your honest opinions would really help me gain some perspective on this whole mess, because I'm still trying to figure out if I made the right choices throughout this entire ordeal.